Welcome, everybody, to Respawn Please, the video game podcast where two dum-dums come together to talk all things video games. And with me, as always, is the non-sick one, Ell. Also, I didn't introduce myself. I'm sick. I'm Jesus. But with me is Ell. How's it going, Ell?
What's going on?
So, how's your week been, man? How's your week been?
It's been good. Been busy, dropping new content, working on our content. Working on music and doing a bunch of things and trying to find time for here and there to play some Overwatch, the usual.
Yeah. When you said you were dropping and you started saying new, I thought you were going to say nukes. And then my brain thought, you're filling your toilet up?
No.
Oh, man. I'm looking at the Steam page, the Xbox Game Pass page for Ni no Kuni, because we were just talking about it. Yeah. And I forgot how beautiful this game is, and I fucking love it. I think I'm going to install it and play it.
That's hilarious.
Because gosh darn it, this game is beautiful. I haven't played it in... last time I played it was like in 2018, 2016, 17, somewhere around there. It's whenever Ni no Kuni 2 came out, I was preparing for Ni no Kuni 2, and then I realized you didn't have to do that because the games aren't connected in any way other than by name. So anyways, going on a ramble here. That's cool. So what new content have you been working on? Tell us all of it, because you've been working on music, right?
Yeah, music. Yep. Working on basically trying new content as far as most of the content I do is just me kind of creating, and so it's kind of like a performance in a way. And now recently I tried new content as far as breaking down how maybe I made a song or the elements that go into a song. Like today I dropped a video of a breakdown of a remix of a song that I did. And that's doing really well. People really like it. And then I'm just trying to figure out, new things to do, as well as working on trying to make do pieces of content for our videos. I mean, we just dropped the first episode of Review Please Anime Edition with both Rock, which is great. And just making short form content that's digestible, that'll get people to watch the full video. So fun doing that, as well as doing stuff we have a video dropping tomorrow of when we live stream playing Overwatch. And so creating content for that, and the podcast, the usual things. And so it's a lot of experimentation. I had to buy a bigger board. I don't know if you noticed, this board is bigger than...
Oh no, you told me you were buying a bigger board. I didn't notice that it was already up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just because I needed more space, just because the little board was fine, but I was running out of space to put things down. And so
yeah, I'm hoping eventually you're gonna get one of those whiteboards that you have to roll in. Just
hilarious.
You're gonna roll it in and be like, all right guys, this is a year, this is what we're doing. Right.
This is what's going on for the rest of the year. So here I have everything mapped out.
Yeah. You can see it all, and maybe you'll see some gems in there. Who knows?
Hilarious.
Oh man, my week has been something. Students. That's all I got. My students murdered me in their writings, apparently, because they don't like me, I'm assuming. But I got asked by two former students of mine to write them letters of recommendation. I have no idea how to do that, but I said I would. So gonna write them a letter of recommendation.
Just type it up, say they were okay. No,
they were excellent students. Thank you. You should hire them.
Exactly.
Yeah. The week has been interesting. I'm getting sick, and it sucks because I hate being all
congested and stuff. Yeah.
And my voice is scratchy, so if I stop talking, you're gonna have to take over.
Okay.
Anyways, we have a jam-packed stuff full today. Enough rambling. I can ramble all day long, but we have a jam-packed full of stuff. We have a Dead Space review roundup, and let me tell you, it's hot. It's freaking hot. Then we're gonna go over some layoffs everywhere. It's taking the industry, video game industry by storm, and both on the video game side and on the media side, which is insane.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna break down the Xbox and Bethesda presents the Developer _Direct. Did you get a chance to watch the Developer Direct?
No, actually, I missed it. I was so busy with other things.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. Actually, you missed a lot. But before we get started, what you been playing, Ell, besides Overwatch? We know you've been playing Overwatch.
Yeah. So
Have you been
besides
playing
Overwatch,
anything else?
yeah, I've been playing Deathloop, going through that. That's the game that I'm finishing, and so I'm actually really enjoying the game now. It's pretty fun. The because we always have these talks about it. How one thing you always mentioned to me was enjoying the gameplay mechanics of it. I'm starting to enjoy that a lot because like when I first started, I was like crouching, hiding everywhere, and I was just taking my time, not really like just rushing anything. But as time went on, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting more comfortable with like the weaponry, learning like the powers that you can have, learning just about like the enemies and where to find them, and just kind of find the visionaries to kill them. And now I'm like, oh, I'm not as scared to like run through if there's like a bunch of enemies, just shoot them up, and then just kind of like move, hide, and just move around. And so it's really fun, that game mechanic. It is it's really interesting. But other than that, I think playing a little bit of Vampire Survivor. I finally bought it from Steam with the DLC, and so played a little bit of that. Vampire Survivor is a great game. So
oh god, it's so good.
Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it right there.
Yeah, nice. Do you have favorite abilities in Deathloop yet? Like things that you're like, I'm always going to keep this on me, or do you kind of adapt as you play?
There's two. Wait, no, the one that I really like the most right now that I have is invisibility. The invisibility, because that just helps me to run around and just like and people are like, where's that coming from? And then there's like 3 weapons that I keep on me, even though like I don't even know if they're the best. But because I've, how sometimes this is like not really spoiler, but whenever you kill a visionary, sometimes they'll drop a special weapon. Yeah, drop an orange weapon. I haven't picked one yet. All I've been having is my little machine gun that comes standard, as well as a shotgun and then a hand pistol. And those are like perfectly fine for me. Like they work perfect and they do everything I need to do. And so like sometimes I look at the special guns, like somebody dropped one the other day that kind of like stops people. And I was like, I don't want to drop these other weapons. I think I'm okay. I'll just leave it alone.
Do you at least upgrade the weapons?
Yes, I upgrade them. Upgrade them. Yeah.
Okay. You should definitely use the orange weapons.
No, definitely. It's funny because I'll laugh to myself because I'll be like, I wonder if anybody else has played like this because like on purpose.
I'm sure people have.
Yeah, it's just, I guess it's because I just want to kill people and stuff. And one funny thing that I'll share with you before I stop rambling is I can't remember which visionary it was. The one who he's in a sort of like game-like area where there's levels and you kind of have to go up and down. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's the area where you meet the robot. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And so I went in there, and the guy was hiding within this game room, and like I love hacking the turrets and setting them up so that way they kind of do work for me. And I was randomly just setting the turret down, and I unlocked it and found out that he was in the room. I was like, where is he? I can't see him. And the turret killed him for me. And so I was like, oh, this is perfect. I was like, I didn't have to do anything. I was just here. The turret did all the work. Oh, this is amazing. So
have you started connecting the dots when the visionaries are like gathered together?
Oh, no, I haven't got that far.
You haven't started connecting those dots? Yeah, there's a lot of overlap, and you slowly, as you uncover secrets and stuff and like learn their routes and everything that they'll be in, you'll learn like, okay, these 3 are going to be together here. These 2 are going to be together here. Yeah. That thing. And like, that's how you kill them all in a day to escape the loop.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I noticed
Spoilers.
that with,
sorry.
No, I noticed that with 2 of the visionaries. And then of course, there are 2 visionaries that tend to hook up in the story. And so I know about 4 of them. And so that, because the whole point of the game is to figure out the perfect like way to kind of eliminate, like you said, everybody on the same day. And so I'm slowly putting it together. Okay.
Have you gotten to the big party yet?
That's the next thing I'm going to.
Okay. Yeah. The party stuff is fun. Just because there's so like, not to spoil anything, I apologize, but there's like very creative ways to like eliminate certain people at this party. That's fascinating and fun. So when you start like navigating and stuff and seeing how it's done. Yeah, I like I said, I love the gameplay of Deathloop. I think it's incredible. Not the biggest fan of the story, but man, the gameplay feels so good, especially when you start when it clicks with you, because I do think there is that like wall where you're like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? What do I do? There's so much shit that I have to do. I got to do this upgrade of these powers. What's happened over here? I got to do what? But like once you start connecting everything together and like you start getting into a rhythm, that's when the game really like shines and like it feels so good to play.
Exactly.
That's why I have faith in Redfall, which we're going to talk about later. Now, so I've been playing, I mentioned this the other night on the stream when we were streaming Overwatch, that I've been playing FIFA. I've been playing FIFA 23 because it was on sale for like $30. I got like, it was the ultimate edition. That was like $100 that comes with a bunch of crap that I'm never going to use because I don't play the ultimate team at all. I create a character in the career mode and then play it through that. And I basically did that for like a week and then I've uninstalled it. I'm done. I'm over it. The bug of playing FIFA has left me, and now I'm all in on Dead Space, which we're going to talk about right now, everybody. Dead Space is out, and it's incredible. I basically spent most of my day playing. I did have to stop for a little bit to go grade some stuff, and then I started feeling like poo-poo, and I fell asleep, and then woke up and felt like poo-poo even more. I'm just going to keep saying poo-poo. But Dead Space is fantastic. I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's fantastic. I love Dead Space to begin with, and the remake is such a fun, interesting enhancement of what I knew, and also expanding in every way possible. Like the game is beautiful to look at, the sound design's great, and then the added extra things that Dead Space has now to refamiliarize veteran players into the game and stuff. It's just it's a fun little, I don't know how to explain this. I'm sorry, I'm doing a horrible job about this. They added so much like little things that makes you go, oh yeah, this is how this game played, but you know, it's not how the game played. One of the things I really appreciate is that if you remember in Dead Space 1, you would always have to go to the tram to get to the next chapter, you know?
Yeah.
Well, now it's like a seamless transition like they did for Dead Space 2 and 3, where it's like you go down, instead of taking the tram, you no longer really have to take the tram. Instead, you walk through the hallways and it transitions to the medical center, and you're in chapter 2 intensive care now. So you don't, like, they've removed that sort of tram system. It's still there in some cases, but it's more seamless than it was where it was. You go in, you get on the tram, it loads to the next chapter. Now there's like a seamless thing that makes it feel really good and makes it feel more connected. Like the Ishimura feels connected now. Nice. They added extra like little side quests for you to do. They've added like a sort of they have like security clearance now, where you have to get security clearance cards to like open certain sections of the Ishimura, and typically those things kind of just, they're not really important for you to do, but they have a lot of like bonus things for you to get. But like there are specific areas that you have to get them in and stuff like that. So you have to find these little cards and like backtrack a lot of the time to unlock these doors. There's a couple in there that like I saw and I was like, how the hell do I get in this door? I want in this door. And it's like, nope, I gotta get the security key, and the security key doesn't come until later. And so, yeah. Like nice little details. The game, obviously beautiful, the upgrades and everything. I'm going to do a full review soon. My goal is to get it up by Thursday. We'll see if that happens. But enough about my rambling. What is the media critics saying? Ell, please take over for a second.
Yeah. So on IGN's Tristan Ogilvy IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. Here, this is an excerpt from the review here that I'm going to read here. It says, with its stunningly redesigned spaceship, smartly and subtly enhanced story, and spectacularly reimagined action scenes, Motive Studio has managed to successfully breathe new life into the seminal semi-horror universe of Dead Space. Despite the fact I've returned to the 2008 original several times over the years and found it to hold up fairly well, my latest journey through the darkened hallways of the USG Ishimura still managed to consistently surprise me and pull me into Isaac's plight far more than ever before, while still satisfying my desire to butcher undead astronauts with an enjoyable arsenal of wildly unsafe mining tools. Excuse me. It's clear that this superb Dead Space remake has been a labor of love for the team at Motive Studios, who've very carefully balanced innovation and renovation with preservation. And to the credit, the end result is undoubtedly the definitive way to experience or re-experience one of the best survival horror shooters that Capcom never made.
Pew, pew, pew. Shots fired at Resident Evil.
Boom.
This is better than Resident Evil. Oh, I actually would say that Dead Space is better than Resident Evil. That's just me. But yeah, so like it currently has a 90 on OpenCritic. It's falling around that range across the board. The consensus is like it is beautiful to look at. A lot of the add-on, additional things really enhance it, and it still feels the way it plays. If you remember how Dead Space felt, it still feels that way. Like it's still, and I think I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I mentioned it on here or on my personal streams or whatever. But like I played Dead Space like just back in like June, and gameplay aged well. Like the Dead Space aged well, like in terms of gameplay. It felt good to play. I loved playing it. And so it still feels that way now. They've made things a little bit crisper and easier. So like the gravity, you know how in Dead Space 1 you had to you would go into the space area and you had to like point to shoot yourself across the map and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they made it more like Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3, where now you're like free floaty and can move around instead of just pointing out a direction and flying that way. So they made it, they did line it up with like more like Dead Space 2 and 3, and which was welcome additions and stuff, because those were probably some of the stronger additions for Dead Space 2 and then Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
I hate Dead Space 3.
I'll say that like it's great to hear this news, just because Dead Space is definitely like what I consider to be like a classic, great game. It's overall like a great story, great survival, sci-fi horror. That I'm super happy that it's reviewing well, because that's what I was expecting. You know, it kind of goes back to what we talked about when we were doing our draft picks, where I was saying that I have a feeling that I think Dead Space, and I'm sure as time goes on, this is what, you know, as much as we wanted Callisto Protocol to be great, this is kind of like what we hoped it would have been like, in a way. Just seamless and just smooth and just like great story and everything. I don't know, maybe time will tell. Maybe, you know, go through Callisto and you'll be like, it wasn't super crazy bad or something. But other than that, it's great to see Dead Space hailing like such a high score. And then also I'm happy that people who didn't play the original will get to experience it in this way, and or those who love the original like us will get to experience it and have just as much fun as if we're playing it for the first time.
And then the last thing I want to mention is they actually added a lot of character to the characters. This might sound weird, but like they redid a lot of like voice acting lines, and Isaac Clarke now talks in Dead Space 1. Isaac actually has a voice, and even like the smaller characters that get killed off pretty much right at the beginning of the game, you know, like the two people that are with you with Hammond and the others, they actually have like talking roles that feel significant, and you can actually tell there's a relationship between Isaac and them and stuff. And it's just interesting, like they add like these little touches to add more layers to Dead Space, which I appreciated. Because like I already knew the story, I'm already like deep familiar with the story of Dead Space and the lore of Dead Space and the marker and everything. Because I love Dead Space, and so it's nice getting these little extra things to kind of add more nuances to what I already know about Dead Space, you know. And I just appreciated that a lot. And they also redid some of the little texts, you know, that you could find in the voice, the voice audio recordings and stuff. They also redid some of those, added some new ones in and stuff like that. So it's nice to like. I played Dead Space many times, and I'm very familiar with a lot of that stuff. And then it's nice to get little nuggets where it's like, oh, this wasn't in the first game. This is nice to hear. Like, this is just adding new perspective to the game, which I very much loved and appreciate. I'm already like halfway through the game, like more than halfway through the game after binge.
Text today, I was like, whoa, you're already going on.
I have dude. It was nonstop playing. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really been doing too much of like the side stuff, which I probably should be doing. But like, I'm also scared. So
that's hilarious.
I'm thinking like my goal is to try to like beat it tonight or tomorrow, and then start an impossible playthrough, and then do the side stuff during the impossible playthrough. just because there's a secret ending tied with the impossible playthrough and stuff. So
nice.
I want to see it.
What if the secret ending is Dead Space and Callisto Protocol are connected? No.
I mean, that'd be weird because this Callisto Protocol, it's like a virus thing.
But what if it came from the what's the name of the stone in Dead Space? What is it called? The not arbiter.
The marker? Are you talking about the marker? Are you talking about the marker?
Yeah, the markers. What if it came from them?
That would be weird because it was like the virus thing was created. I believe. I can't remember shit about Callisto Protocol, man. I played the game, played it once, beat it. I was like, I don't want to think about this game anymore. Anyways, but yeah, Dead Space is good, y'all. Check it out. It's fantastic. I am a dum-dum and I bought it twice. I'm gonna platinum it for sure. But I've been playing on PC. There has been on my end, and I've been seeing this on Steam. People talk about this, so I'm not the only one having this issue where there is a little stuttering problem. With like frame rate, where the frame rate just dips drastically, and I'm just like, what's happening? But that seems to be a common problem across the board. So it doesn't seem like the PC version's well optimized from what I'm understanding. I haven't like looked in to see like how the consoles are performing though. Like, I'm assuming they're fine, but I haven't tried Dead Space on PlayStation yet. I'll probably do my impossible playthrough on PlayStation just to get the platinum trophy.
Nice.
So we'll find out, but yeah, I've loved it, and I'm excited to see. And you get an early lead in our fantasy game critic, you son of a bitch.
Woo, I'll take it.
I don't have a game coming out until I guess Atomic Heart's the first one.
Yeah, next month, isn't it?
Nah, it's towards the end of the February.
Okay.
Unless I picked up freaking Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm losing my mind, man. I don't feel good. Please kill me.
Hilarious.
Anyways, moving on from Dead Space, getting into a somber note. Layoffs everywhere in the game industry. It's at Microsoft, and for Microsoft isn't just the game division. It's like Microsoft as a whole, and that's also following like Google laying off people, Amazon laying off people, Apple laying off people. Like the tech industry right now is like just laying off people left and right, and it's insane because it's getting crazy numbers, and it's probably just going to keep increasing too, which is a crazy thing to think about. But specifically for Microsoft, they laid off 10,000 staff. This is from an article on IGN. Microsoft lays off 10,000 staff. In a public message to staff, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said that decision was difficult but necessary, but it is confident that Microsoft will emerge from the stronger and more competitive. It's unclear exactly which departments are affected, but Microsoft made clear the redundancies were a result of it reprioritizing different areas of the business and that it would still be hiring in key strategic areas. This came out, this broke on January 18th, and then not too long after, it turned out one of the big areas that got hit for Microsoft was 343. So this is where the game side of things comes in, where another article on IGN titled Halo Infinite's 343's statement runs against deep cuts in Halo development team. So a little ways down, quote, IGN has learned that significant cuts have been made to 343's Halo development team. One former 343 employee impacted by the layoffs estimated about a quarter of 343 staff was impacted. Although that's not a firm statistic, we also learned that around 30 people were let go from 343's art department alone, with former employees saying 434 Industries was hit hard with positions impacted across all disciplines. This is a shame to see that like 343 is getting hit with this. This also comes on the heels of, I didn't include a article for this, but that Halo, that 343 is now not going to be the only one working on Halo anymore, that Microsoft is going to be essentially leasing out Halo, the property, to other developers and stuff like that. So it's crazy to think that, like, it's just crazy to think about this. I don't really have too much to say about it because like I don't really know all of the information, but yeah, this is wild to just see, like, especially because Halo is, like at one time was the flagship. Granted that was under Bungie and everything, but now just seeing it hit, how it's hit here, seeing like how Halo has even Halo Infinite didn't do what Microsoft wanted it to do at its release and stuff, and then the lack of, for a better term, the lack of progress that Halo has had over the last 2 years since has it been 2 years or is it a little over a year? It's a little over a year. A little over a year now. Yeah. Just wild to see. And just wild to hear about. And just, it sucks to see that so many people are getting laid off. And yeah.
Yeah, it's super wild because, like you said, Halo was once like, it's basically like Microsoft and Xbox is like, that's their go like character. Like, everybody knows Master Chief, everybody knows all that, and so successful. Halo, the whole series doing well up until now. Like you said, with Halo Infinite not really doing what's well. Halo Infinite, dare I say, not as memorable like as the other games from the series. And so
I will say it's better than 5. Yeah, 5. People like it more than 5. And the thing is, like, the Halo Infinite campaign is really good. It's just there was a lack of progress, a lack of things to do on the multiplayer side.
Yeah, I'll say that. But it's interesting. I guess it's just for me. I guess maybe I'm not in the right, I don't know, circles of social media and stuff like that. But it almost felt like I just didn't hear a lot about Halo. Like it just didn't have a big impact or like a big hit, and it didn't stick with people. Like people played it, and like people said, there were people who I saw who maybe played it on Twitch. They streamed it. They played. They said they had fun with it. The campaign. Even people playing the multiplayer. But like you said, it's like it came and then it went. And it was just like forgotten. And so and it has its own dedicated like player base that continues to support it and play it, but it just feels like the release just is less of an impact, and it's more like just it's here, and then people like it just didn't hit hard for me.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely like, even in like the circles that I see that I take part in and stuff, it's like Halo was hot for the month that it came out because it dropped the multiplayer early. People were excited about it. People were like, hell yeah, the campaign dropped. People loved the campaign. And then by the end of December going into 2022, nobody gave a shit. Like it was very like, true. Okay, what are you going to do next? And then they didn't have like a clear roadmap. They weren't they weren't updating the game consistently enough to really capture that spark that they had at the initial beginning. They weren't able to replicate that again. And even with like the Forge coming out back in November, I forgot the Forge even came out.
Exactly.
Because I remember us talking about it like early last year. We were talking about, the Forge, is that going to breathe new life into the game? Well, the Forge came out back in November. Nothing, like nobody talked about it. It's there. Like when I installed, because we were going to play Halo Infinite this past Wednesday, which did you ever figure that part out? You know what? We don't need to talk about it. Yeah. But when I started, I was like, oh, the Forge is here. I forgot this was a thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. but I never remember seeing people talking about it. I don't remember, I just never saw too much buzz about it or any hype around it. And I don't know if that's just like a detriment for I don't know if that's 343, not just advertising, Microsoft not advertising like this. You feel like Halo Infinite should have been this should have been big moments where everybody was talking about it going, Forge is here. Let's go in and create freaking awesome stuff. It just wasn't there. And it was really weird for me, just look on the outside looking in.
No, definitely.
But yeah, anyways, we got off track. We're now just bashing Halo. But anyways, getting back on track with the layoff stuff, it sucks for them. I hope 343 recovers. I hope all these folks that are going to be out of jobs are going to recover. And the sad thing is that it's going to keep happening because fucking capitalism. The other thing that I've been seeing too is people go oh, Microsoft is laying off all these employees, but they're able to buy a freaking company, Activision Blizzard. And it's like, yeah, because that's fucking capitalism. Because capitalism fucking sucks.
The way that it works for those who say that is that if it's not making enough money or that it's not what they deem successful, they're probably gonna break what they're doing now and lay off the people. We don't need them because we're making more money over here. So let's move this our focus over here because this is more successful over here. So that's how it works in capitalism, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks, and like it's gonna happen. People that are saying that Sony wouldn't do something like this, and was like, no, Sony would do something like this big time. Like if it was gonna help the profit margin, they would do it because that's capitalism, and it sucks. And hey, it's life. Going on to continue on the dreary topic of layoffs. It would also hit game news media. GameSpot and Giant Bomb was also affected in a wave of media layoffs. This is an article on gamesindustry.biz by James Patchler. GameSpot and Giant Bomb are the latest media publications to be struck by layoffs. The news emerged last night with the various members of both teams announcing they were now unemployed via social media. Kotaku reported the layoffs were announced to staff during an unscheduled company-wide meeting led by Perkins Miller, CEO of the site's parent company, Fandom. Sources told Kotaku that 40 to 50% of people were affected across the company. Just more, just sad to see. Like a lot of the people that were laid off at GameStop and Giant Bomb are people that I follow on Twitter, and just seeing like the dismay that they had, about losing a job, very warranted and stuff. And just seeing the response to like how games media is not a safe field to go into. And like seeing some of them going like, I think I'm just going to get out of games media because it's not stable. It's not safe enough. Cause like, they're like a lot of like the tweets and stuff I'm seeing is like, why try to get a job for something that may lay me off in a year?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because IGN also had layoffs not too long ago and stuff like that. And so Fanbyte, another website, also had layoffs. And we're about to talk about another layoff that got completely shut down. So it's wild. And then over on the Washington Post, the Washington Post is closing its closing launcher, its video game portion of the website. So the Washington Post shutting down its stuff completely. Like they're not even going to do game stuff anymore. So that's so it's eliminating 20 newsroom positions. This is an article on IGN by Kate Bailey. As reported by the New York Times and Axios, the Washington Post is eliminating 20 newsroom positions while declining to fill 30 positions. The layoffs include 5 members of Launcher, a video game focused website that has been running since 2019. So like their Washington Post attempt into games media not even lasted that long. It's 3-4 years later. It's just wild. Like, and I get it. Like there's a lot of dismay about it. And I kind of agree with it. Like, why try to get into games media if there's no job security in it? It sucks. It sucks. It's crushing for a lot of people, especially people that have aspirations about going into games media, and all that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, definitely. It's sad because like this is, like I said, it's just kind of a reflection of the times, just as far as like, because I think I remember seeing somewhere, it feels like, not to go too far off on a tangent, but it's like we're in this bubble right now that could probably pop at any moment as far as like a society and stuff, economy and everything. And so businesses, for how they're run, are going to basically like, capitalism, like I said, the way that it works is that if a business is going to look at itself and be like, okay, what can we not afford to lose, or what do we not want to lose, and what's something that we don't mind just tossing away, regardless of how much work, how much effort, regardless of how great of a staff or how great the content they were doing, is. And so it just sucks, man, because it makes you think, which I don't know if maybe this is the right way to say it, but maybe it's like my mind goes to like, okay, what is this, just like kind of a preview of more things to come like this, because of the times, because of technology evolving and stuff, or will this transform in a different way, as far as like the way that publications or like like the staff at like GameSpot and just things like that, how we get news and media, is it going to change, or is it going to look different and just come in a different form? And so usually sometimes when something like this happens, then the next thing to do is to look for like, okay, what's going to fill up that space? Like, what's going to take its place? And so, unfortunately, people getting laid off sucks, but I hope that whatever comes next, or, whatever happens, the people who got laid off are able to kind of like jump into that new thing and, be a part of the next, thing that comes up, and hopefully it stays.
Yeah, I agree. I think like you bring up an interesting point, like, well, how is the landscape going to change? And I think we're already sort of in it with like, not to say toot horns on anything, but like podcasts and stuff like that, like relying on content creators to kind of fill in that gap. We're already sort of seeing that. It's already been a thing, like people going to Twitch to watch content creators. Now, is that going to be sustainable? Probably not. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 5-10 years? Maybe Amazon's going to be like, you know what? Let's pull the plug on Twitch. Fuck Twitch.
Crazy.
That would be wild if Amazon did that. But hey, I mean, Microsoft did it with freaking what was Microsoft's one? I don't even remember what Microsoft's one was, but like they pulled the plug on it just randomly. They just Stadia,
was it? No,
the streaming their like thing like Twitch.
I can't remember it. It's on.
I can't remember either. I can't remember either. That's how unimportant it was. But like, Amazon could decide that, Twitch is not doing it for us anymore. Let's pull the plug, and then we'll have to go to YouTube, which we're already on YouTube, so there's no complaints there. But what if YouTube did it? What if Google's like, you know what? Pull the live stuff on YouTube. Pull YouTube down completely. That would be wild. I think the world would fall into collapse. At that point.
No, definitely. That'd be like super crazy.
But what I'm trying to get at, though, is like content creation, sort of that new thing. But even that's not sustainable. You see it all the time where content creators are like, I need a break because I'm streaming 7 days a week for almost 24 hours and stuff, like every day and stuff. It's like, you got to take a break, and then people get mad at them when they take a break and shit. And it's like, where's the balance there? So
to kind of chime in this, it kind of reminds me of something. Where I don't know if you remember, because like I know I'm this old to remember. So before streaming services, you had cable, and you like if you wanted to watch a channel, you had to purchase like this entire package that came with channels that you didn't want, and then the ones that you did want. And then the people would say, I only want the channels that I want. I don't care about the rest of these channels. And then eventually, what ended up happening is streaming apps, streaming services, and stuff like that happened, right? And then now the reason why they did that is because it was so expensive for the cable, for like the bundles that they were trying to sell. And then now we've kind of gone in a circle a little bit.
We're going back towards that.
We're going back towards that.
Everything is, all your individual subscriptions are now stacking up to be
up to the same amount. So I wonder if maybe this will kind of have kind of like a similar cycle where we're going to go through different iterations just to come back to something else. And so it's interesting.
Journalistic games media rather than content creation games media.
Maybe. Never know.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. But I hope everybody gets fantastic jobs, because like I said, there's a lot of people that I follow that was at GameSpot, that was at Giant Bomb and stuff, that like I followed. I was like, I want them to succeed, because I loved reading their articles, I loved reading their reviews, I loved watching the videos and stuff that they would create. And so I hope they land on their feet and get somewhere good, and hopefully they stay in the games business, because like it would suck to like lose a lot of these voices. So
definitely agreed.
Continuing the sad news. Sad news. Maybe not sad news, depending on how you feel about the game. But Marvel's Avengers is coming to an end, Ell. It's coming to an end. And a blog post on Crystal Dynamics blog forum thing for Marvel's Avengers. Quote, to our amazing community. After 2.5 years and introducing 12 of Earth's mightiest heroes following update 2.8 on March 31st, 2023, we will no longer add new content or features to Marvel's Avengers. All official support for the game will end on September 30th, 2023. Even after official support ceases on September 30th, 2023, both single-player and multiplayer gameplay will continue to be available. See below for more information. They have an infographic of stuff. That means nothing to me because I don't actually play the game. As a show of our appreciation for our community, starting March 31st, 2023, we will make all games market challenge cards and shipment cosmetic content available to all players for free. Every single outfit, takedown, emotes, and nameplate from the marketplace. Challenge cards and shipments will be free for all players from this date onwards if you own a copy of the game. Gifting the full library of marketplace cosmetic content is a way to thank our community by letting everyone experience the breadth of depth of content in Marvel's Avengers. We know this is disappointing news as everyone in our community has such a strong connection to these characters and their stories. We're so grateful that you came on this adventure with us. Your excitement for Marvel's Avengers, from your epic photo mode shoots to your threads theorizing who our next hero would be to your Twitch streams, has played a large part in bringing this game to life. We hope you continue to play and enjoy Marvel's Avengers. We can't thank you enough for your support and for being part of our super team. End quote. 2 years. 2 years. Marvel's Avengers. Did you ever imagine a world where a Marvel's Avengers property would collapse, fail? Because this had all the recipes to succeed.
It did.
It was Marvel connected, superhero, came hot off the heels of Infinity War and all of that. People love Marvel crap.
Yep.
But this game didn't succeed. And this isn't against a knock against anybody who created the game. I'm sure a lot of people worked hard on this game, and I did play it and I did enjoy it for like the 10 hours that I played it. But it was just unremarkable to me. Like, I enjoyed my time playing it, but afterwards I've never had a desire to go back. I played the single player story stuff, didn't care in any way, shape, or form of coming back and doing the multiplayer stuff because it was just a grind fest. You've talked about how you don't like Destiny because it's just like getting numbers higher and just a grind. That was what Marvel's Avengers like multiplayer side was, and I was like, I don't want to do this because the combat wasn't fun. That was for me. Are you interested in trying it out?
No, not really. Just because from the gameplay, I've watched like people stream it and play it. I've watched YouTube videos about it and just watching it because I love like Marvel, DC, just comic books in general, the superhero stories and like cool characters. They can be interesting and they can be done well. Mm-hmm. But after watching like people play it and watching like stuff about it, it just didn't seem interesting. It just didn't grab me. It almost like, I don't want to say that it was just a horrible game, but it just, like you said, it was like unremarkable, like not really just unmemorable, there was nothing that kind of just wanted you, left you wanting to come back for more, and so certain moments it seemed cool, but just like the gameplay mechanics, some of it was just like you said, very grindy and just wasn't a lot. I think it just missed a couple elements to actually make it like a hit. Like I felt like it should have been, because Marvel, with everything that they do up to Infinity War and stuff like that, it was like money. It was like making millions.
This came out after like the success of Marvel Spider-Man too. Like Marvel Spider-Man hit hard. People loved Marvel Spider-Man, and it's like something just Avengers just didn't connect with people, and it's wild to think that people. I think it's just wild to think that I think a lot of it does come down to the gameplay. Just the gameplay loop wasn't satisfying enough. It wasn't engaging enough to sustain the support that he needed to keep going.
Exactly. Even though I think I don't remember much of the story, because I feel like maybe you can probably correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I feel like the best way when it comes to like video games inspired by comic book characters or like things like that of that nature, it's always good to kind of like focus on like stories that people know about. Like, for example, one thing that people always chime in on about, this is just random, DC movies, is that a lot of the times they don't really build up to whatever they're trying to get to as well. Where some people say that DC has great stories that maybe they could focus on, like The Killing Joke or something like that, if you enjoy that story. Same thing with Marvel. There's certain stories that maybe, this could have followed, maybe kind of like the movies, how, the first Avengers kind of went and focused on Loki. It was all a build up to Ultron, and it just paved a way for the movies to be great. I don't know if the video game itself really paved a way to like for a storyline that maybe people knew about, who loved Marvel, or like was just fun to play.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, the story and stuff for Avengers was like new. With that said, there was like a sort of build up to it. Like you got to see the world through the eyes of Kamala Khan.
Okay.
And she like it starts with her at the Avenger Fest, whatever. I can't remember what the thing was actually called. But like, and she's there, and then shit hits the fan and stuff starts blowing up, and then Captain America dies. Or does he die? I don't know. Kamala Khan, she gets radiation stuff, and she can get stretchy arms.
Gotcha.
So there was build up, and there's like a time skip, and then the rest of the game is like you're Kamala Khan trying to unite the Avengers, bring them back together and stuff, and like uncover and stop this this villain from kind of taking over the world type thing. So not really taking over the world, but yeah. And so like as she's doing that, she learns about, there's this faction trying to resist this other thing and this corporation and all this other stuff. And Captain America's on the moon. Yep. Captain America. Steve Rogers went to the moon.
Whoa.
Spoiler for the game. You have to rescue him. I don't think he was on the moon. He might have just been in a space station, but he was in space and you had to go save him.
Yeah. I feel like this the Marvel's Avengers game kind of falls victim to what Gotham Knights fell victim to. Gameplay loop, like you said, just wasn't fun. Yeah. Even as much as like the lore and like the characters are cool, it's just...
Was the story good? I don't remember anything about Gotham. I'm gonna be honest. I did not hear anything about it after release, so
me either. And so that, I mean, because I feel like if the story is good, people will talk about the story. And so it would make the rounds and people would be like, you should play this great story, blah, blah, whatever. So I think that it just falls victim to that, to where like you have great characters and like you have interesting ways that they can go about it, but the story just doesn't keep you in as much, Yeah.
I agree. Moving on from the Marvel's Avengers, because fuck Marvel's. No, I'm kidding. I love Marvel's Avengers. Good. I'm sorry to see it go. I couldn't think of a segue.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Oh my God.
Sorry, my brain's like dead right now.
No, you're good. You're good.
Moving on to the final topic of the show. This might go long. This might go short. I'm going to go through it. Stop me when you want to talk about something specific. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to break down the Xbox and Bethesda presents the developer _ direct, and I'm going to give my review of it.
Okay.
All right. So it starts off with a beautiful showcase. I actually really like this trailer that they have, because they showed all the different development teams across like Microsoft and across the world. They had like a little sizzle thing of the like glimpses of the games, and then it went with 4 big games, and then they like scratched out the 4 and added 5. Because originally it was announced that only 4 games are going to be there. But then Secret Game was going to show up, and it was going to be by Tango Games, the developers of Evil Within. What does that mean? Who knows? We'll talk about it here in a second, because that game that they had, let me tell you, it's the first hot game of the year. Well, yeah, it came out before Dead Space, so first hot game of the year. But it opened with, after the sizzle reel and stuff, they went over to Mojang for Minecraft Legends. They showed off the PvP side of things for Legends. If you don't remember what Legends is, it's the sort of action RTS Age of Empires inspired take on Minecraft. And so they showed the PvP stuff. It's a 4v4. You try to destroy your opponent's base. So you are defending your base. You're building your base up. Everybody on the team, on your team, shares resources. So if we play together, it could be like I'm building while you go out and chop down trees, gather material, and all that stuff. Whatever the hell you do in Minecraft to build things up. And then the teams try to destroy each other, but there's also a twist to it. The piglins, the little piglin bandit people, they are an extra they're a faction that fights both teams, and so they will attack your base. They will get involved in fights and stuff. So it adds an extra layer. Like you got to defend against the piglins, and you got to defend against the human players. And so there's multiple things to deal with. The world is always random. It's always procedurally generated. So anytime you play, it's not going to be the same world that you were in before. So you'll always have something like something new to chase. Like things won't always be in the same place. So even if like you got to find, red, what is it called? The red minerals things. It won't be in the same place. Like you'll have to go out and search for it and stuff like that. So it's just interesting. Nice. It looks really freaking fun. Like I was surprised at how fun it looked. I was thinking maybe we should play this together sometime when the game comes out. After they showed everything off, they had a release date of April 18th, 2023. So it's right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Wow.
So that's exciting. But yeah, looked great. I thought it showed well. I'm excited to see the single player side more, because there is a story for Minecraft Legends on the single player side. So I'm interested in seeing what that has. So hopefully as we get closer to the date, there'll be more of that. Because I just seeing the PvP gameplay, I was like, man, this actually looks pretty damn dope. I'm kind of into this. So we'll see what more we get from Minecraft Legends. But yeah, it looked great. And moving on to Forza Motorsport.
Nice.
So Forza Motorsport always looks freaking beautiful, man.
Of course.
like Forza Motorsport is probably the best looking game every generation. You know what I mean? Like they just, there's something about it that just the sauce, the secret sauce for Forza Motorsport is always there, and it always looks beautiful, and it's insane because even Horizon came out 2 years ago, came out around the time of Halo, looked beautiful. Still looks beautiful. So it's Forza Motorsport looks freaking beautiful. They showed off a lot of customization. They had a lengthy section where they talked about sound design and the cars revving and blah, 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 whatever. I don't care about that side of things. I don't care about what cars sound like, but hey, that's cool. For the sound junkies out there, they are doing everything they can to replicate the actual sounds and feels of the cars. They showed off there. They mentioned that there's going to be 20 different environments. They showed off one particular track that I can't remember the name of, and I didn't write it down. I apologize. They showed off that there's dynamic weather system and a dynamic day-night cycle. And they, with the phrase that no two laps will play the same. Hopefully that's true. I don't know what that means. The console version is apparently going to be using ray tracing, according to the trailer. From what I understand, there's going to be 500 cars. There's going to be a single player career mode. It's the downside to all of this. All of it looked great. All of it sounded great. I was like, man, this is really cool. I'm looking forward to Forza Motorsport to play for a weekend, because I'm going to play for a weekend and then never play it again, probably. It did not come. It did not have a release date. No release date. It just said coming in 2023. So.
Dang.
Who knows? Maybe it'll get pushed out. I hope it doesn't, because I added it to my fantasy game critics. I do have it because Forza always reviews well. So I expect Forza, no matter when it comes out, I think it's going to land and it's going to hit and people are going to love it. I don't think there's ever been a bad Forza game.
I don't think
even Horizon always reviews and scores well. So
yeah, I
fully expect Forza Motorsport, because Forza Motorsport's the standard now for racing sims, isn't it? It used to be Gran Turismo. It used to be Gran Turismo, but I feel like Forza Motorsport pushed past it, with Motorsport, with Horizon and stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely. I think it's mostly now Forza. It almost feels like Gran Turismo is more of the the really, really dedicated into cars, even though Forza does a great job.
Yeah,
it seems more niche, but I could be wrong. But
yeah. I don't know. Again, I only play Forza Motorsport for a weekend, because I'm always man, these look great. They feel great, but I suck at racing games. So, anyways. Next up, they showed off Hi-Fi Rush. It's a Tango game. It's from the creators of Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo, which is wild. And they even mentioned, they're everybody associates us with horror stories or scary games, but we wanted to make something different. We wanted to make this game, and it's a rhythm action. It's a rhythm action game with a lot of platforming elements too. There's a lot of stretches where it feels like it's a Ratchet and Clank type game where you're just hopping around collecting things and stuff. It's really good. This game got a surprise dropped. It was shadow dropped. This easily stole the show for me because it was like, oh fuck, we can play this today. It already has an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. If you go look at OpenCritic, there's not any like score number on OpenCritic, but a lot of the reviews that are up there are giving it like 9s, giving it above like 8s and stuff like that. So it's reviewing really well as well. But the game is just fantastic. I've been playing it. I love it. Like this game, it's wild to me that they were able to shadow drop this. Yeah, and it still get a lot of attention. I think that's part of the reason why it got a lot of attention instead of like any build up to it. It's just like, here, go play it now. Like,
exactly.
Speak for yourself. Let the players decide if it's going to be awesome. And it is freaking awesome. The music's great. The humor is fantastic. So I'm gonna use High on Life as an example of this because High on Life is a game that recently came out where it's all about the humor, and I could not stand it. I could not stand it. I did not like High on Life because I found the game incredibly annoying. But with Hi-Fi Rush, like the comedy is landing for me. Like the humor that's there, the relationships that are building between these characters are there. I really enjoy this, and dare I say it, the cat that's in this game, better than the cat in Stray. You heard it here first. Better than that stupid cat in Stray. There's a cute robot cat named 808. Adorable as fuck. Yeah, 808. It turns into, so it's a cute cat with like when you're at your home base, it's a cat. It loves you. You can touch it. You can pet it and stuff. And then when you go out into the world, it turns into like this little floating robot that follows you around. That's hilarious. If you watch it, it's like going to the beat of the music and stuff. Like it pulses to the beat of the music, so you can kind of gauge when you need to like swing your little sword and stuff to fight the robots and everything. Nice. But yeah, the game, you need to check it out, Elle. Whenever you can, it's just fantastic to play. It is rock music, so just keep that in mind. I've been seeing people go, yeah, they need to update Hi-Fi Rush with like a hip hop pack or something to bring. Hilarious. So, but yeah, Hi-Fi Rush though, fantastic. I can easily see this game getting in my top 10 games of the year by the end of the year. Like I'm having so much fun with it. If you asked me to review it now, I would give it a 4 out of 5. I think there's a lot there to admire. For me, I just like, I'm not a rhythm person. My rhythm kind of sucks, even with like the gauge of the robot there. But like, I'm still having fun, and like, they're very forgiving too, with like not hitting on the beat. It's more like if you hit on the beat, you get extra damage to whatever you're fighting and stuff. So if you get like a perfect strike, it does extra damage and stuff like that. So it's very forgiving. You don't have to, for the rhythmic, what's the correct phrasing for this? For the lack of rhythm of people there, I don't know. I was trying to be cute. I was trying to be cute with like a pun, and I couldn't think of one. So it was there for a moment, and then it went away. And yeah. Anyways, check Hi-Fi Rush out. It's fantastic. I love it. I think everybody should go check it out. It's on Game Pass. It's on Steam. It's on Xbox. But yeah, and seeing the shadow drop makes me wonder, wouldn't it be awesome if they do like a shadow drop on every one of these like sort of Xbox things? Oh, that would be cool. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. But what if? If like these smaller titles like Hi-Fi Rush, and even like going back to Pentiment, if they would have shadow dropped Pentiment, I think there would have been a lot more buzz about Pentiment, because people like Pentiment a lot. But I think announcing Pentiment like 3 months out kind of made people go, why the hell is Bethesda wasting resources on that? Or not Bethesda, but Obsidian wasting resources on that. And the game came out and people loved it. But like, I feel like if Pentiment had done a shadow drop similar to Hi-Fi Rush, I think there would have been a lot more buzz and a lot more people going, wow, Microsoft, good job. Good job on doing this and keeping it a secret and blah, blah, blah. So I'm wondering if that's something that Microsoft and Bethesda could do going forward with some of their game releases, going, we're just gonna like the smaller projects, not like Starfield, or anything like that, or Fallout, or Elder Ring, Elder Scrolls. Obviously, things like that wouldn't be able to work for a shadow drop, because you want that buzz, because games like that would get the buzz. But things like Hi-Fi Rush, if they would have announced this and then come out like 2 months from now, I don't think it would have as much buzz. You know what I mean? Because people would see it and go,
I see that.
Whereas the shadow drop, this shadow dropped, and people were excited because it looked awesome. It looks like the art style is fantastic. Anyways, I'm talking about this way too much. So we're going on to the next game. The next game is Elder Scrolls Online. They announced their next expansions, which is Necrom. They talked about the new class, which is Arcanist. It's magic based. They introduced a new region, which is Eastern Morrowind. If you don't know anything about Elder Scrolls, none of this means a goddamn thing to you. So I loosely know this stuff because I love Elder Scrolls. I love Morrowind. Specifically, Morrowind's my favorite Elder Scrolls game. And I've dabbled in Elder Scrolls Online. But yeah, the other cool thing that they announced during this too is that they're making, for a limited time, they're making all of their expansion packs free. To like, for new players who want to jump into Elder Scrolls, you can have all of the content that has been released up till now to give it a go and stuff like that. Necrom's going to release June 5th, so over the summer. And then the Xbox version was getting a later date, and I didn't mark it down. I think it was like the 20th or something like that. So okay. But the PC is getting it first, and then Xbox getting it second. And then they ended the show with a little game that I like to call Redfall. Nice. They showed off a lot of it. I've mentioned this before. I like the art style. I like the way the game looks because I'm just a fan of that style because it falls in line with Deathloop. It falls in line with Dishonored and Prey and all of that. So I love the art style. They emphasize that this is a story-driven shooter. It's single player or you can use co-op. This is the largest world that Arcane has made. It's going to be very detailed and dense. They're going to, of course, be using environmental storytelling, which is common for any Arcane game. If you played Dishonored, Deathloop, you find little pieces in the world that gives you information about the world and stuff like that. So they're going to be doing a lot of that. They showed off gameplay. The gameplay looks cool. The powers they showed off looked fun. They mentioned that you can approach missions in multiple ways. Again, a hallmark of Arcane games. If you've played Deathloop, if you played Dishonored, there's multiple ways you can complete things. They showed off the class trees for a couple of the classes. And there's a lot there. There's a lot to process. There's upgrades for guns. Aside from the main story, there's the main story. And then on the side, your other mission is to claim all the areas of Redfall and eliminate the
vampires.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that, y'all.
Okay.
So you're going to try to eliminate the vampires and claim the areas of Redfall to, bring humanity back to Redfall. Each boss is going to have their own unique abilities, and there's like multiple levels of boss. There's like the basic bosses, the ultra bosses, and then they have what is called the vampire gods. Those look like you're going to have a team of people to fight with you because like you like have to go underground and fight these big ass freaking monster dudes and stuff. So it looked really cool. They didn't like show off an extensive battle, but they did show one rising up out of the ground and stuff. And it's like, oh God. So it looked cool. Nice. This is a game that I'm definitely like, I want to play with you, Ell. Like we need to play it when it launches. It's going to be launching May 2nd, 2023. So we only have to wait till May. But yeah, it looked incredible. I'm excited about Redfall. I do think the more I do see of this, the more I think, oh yeah, this is going to be a very niche game, and the people that fall in love with it are going to fall in love with it.
Yeah,
and I think that's where it ends. It's going to be the people that love it, and then everybody else. I'm probably going to be one of the people that love it because I just love Arcane games. But yeah, I'm excited about this game. It looked awesome to me. I have seen people going, oh, it looked underwhelming, it looked boring, and I understand, but like. Because I have faith in Arcane and I love Arcane games and I want to see Redfall succeed, I kind of have my rose tinted glasses on and are like, let's see it. But I also have no doubt that like, yeah, this is going to be a more polarizing game than like Deathloop or Dishonored or anything like that. Because they are trying something that may not necessarily work. I don't want to say it's like a games for a service like the Avengers or anything like that or Destiny. But there's kind of a feeling that they're going that way without saying they're going that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, definitely.
They say it's just co-op. They say it's just co-op, but we'll see. We'll see.
Interesting.
There's also still comparisons to Left 4 Dead and stuff. I don't think the trailers and stuff that they showed off dissuaded anybody from thinking that this wasn't just Left 4 Dead, but with vampires. Because I still saw people going like, this is still Left 4 Dead, right? It's just vampires. Like, yeah, there's deeper stuff to it. There's like RPG mechanics that Left 4 Dead doesn't have and all that. But anyways, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, nice. I can't wait to play it. So I'm excited for this to come out. And so now that we've gotten more information about it, just like, and how they're breaking it down with, the way that the game looks, gameplay, just a big class tree, upgrading for the weapons. And so it looks really cool. So I'm excited to get into it. So,
yeah. The other thing that struck me, and I don't know if this is going to be I don't know if they did it just for the trailer, was the lack of HUD. There wasn't a HUD to indicate anything on your screen. It would flash up occasionally, like occasionally there would be like a button, like a button indicator to like vault over a wall or something like that, or go through a window. But outside of that, there wasn't really a HUD, and like, so I'm wondering if that's going to be normal or if they just did that for the trailers and stuff to give it a more cinematic look, you know.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. We'll see. I can't. Because the HUDs in all of the games are fairly minimal. In Dishonored and Deathloop and stuff, it's fairly minimal. It's kind of like off to the side to give you an ample view of everything in front of you. So
exactly,
I don't know. I'm interested in seeing if the HUD thing was for that. Anyways, not an important thing at all to dwell on. So overall, I thought this was a solid showcase. I was incredibly impressed. It was only 45 minutes long. So it wasn't like one of those 2-hour things where, you know, where you're just waiting going, okay, hopefully something good shows up. I thought the format was great. The pacing was great. Hearing from the developers was pretty solid. Like, I normally am not the biggest fan of just having the developers talk, but they did a great blend of having the developers talk while gameplay was being shown instead of just having the developers talk, you know, and then going, hey, just show us the gameplay. You're just telling us. But they did a nice blend of the developers are talking, but the gameplay is being shown as well. So you get a nice visual to what they're telling you, so you can actually see what they're saying and make sense of what they're saying, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And so a lot of this was focused on the gameplay. It pretty much, I don't think there was any cinematics really, except for maybe Hi-Fi Rush.
Nice.
But yeah, so I don't think there was any cinematics really, and it was all gameplay focused. The pacing was great. The outside of the Hi-Fi Rush, there was no big surprises, like, which is not a bad thing at all, because Microsoft Bethesda pretty much said that there's going to be 4 games. Starfield is not going to be here. Don't get your hopes up about that. And so they had 4 games plus Hi-Fi Rush. And even though they advertised this and said, do not get your hopes up, there's going to be no Starfield. Starfield is not going to be here. You wonder how many people fucking complained about this on Twitter, where they were like, why wasn't there no Starfield? It's like, my God. They literally told you weeks ago there was going to be no Starfield. Starfield was going to have its own showcase later. People don't fucking pay attention or listen or whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever. I thought everything that they showed, though, was fantastic. I would give it a 4 out of 5. And my 4 out of 5 is more or less just like, there was no surprises beyond the Hi-Fi Rush. And if it wasn't for the Hi-Fi Rush, I probably would have given this a 3 out of 5. Because while like I liked the pacing and I liked everything about it, I just wanted something a little bit more, but I don't really know what that little bit more was. You know what I mean? Like it's something in the back of my head. I was just like, I just wanted something a little bit more. Like, honestly, I could have done without the Elder Scrolls Online stuff. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Elder Scrolls is too niche. Like, Elder Scrolls Online is too niche to include in something like this. I feel like this could have been its own thing somewhere else, because they did have an event after this. So it was like, just have that event by itself. Like, you didn't really need to include this part here. You could have highlighted another game here to get people more excited. I don't know. There was just something off with the Elder Scrolls placement and amongst everything. But like, again, Minecraft Legends looked great. Forza Motorsport looked great. Hi-Fi Rush is amazing. Redfall looks fantastic. So 4 out of 5 for me. It was a great time, a great 45 minutes. It flew by. It didn't even feel like 45 minutes. And yeah, I hope to see Microsoft and Bethesda continue this developer direct, compared to like their long-winded ones that they did last year, that were like 2, 3, 4 hours or whatever, where we we would just sit there and just like, okay, come on, get done with this, please. But yeah, so I thought this was great overall. And yeah, I think I'm looking forward to seeing more. I hope they do more. I'm excited about seeing the Starfield one, especially if it's going to be like 30 to 45 minutes like this, and how much they are going to show up. They could potentially show up for Starfield. So yeah,
nice. Sounds like a good first showcase, so to speak.
Yeah, good first showcase of the year. This is the first one of the year. Microsoft has confirmed that they're going to be doing something in the summer during the Summer Games Fest and all that. So,
nice.
Will we get something in between? We're probably the Starfield, all that, but we'll see.
Nice.
But yeah, outside of that, we're done with the show, y'all. We're done with the podcast. Ell, wind us down before I throw up everywhere.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the Respawn Please podcast live version. If you miss out on the live version, that's okay. You can always catch the VOD, which no longer comes out after the fact. It comes out on Sunday, same day as the podcast, same time, video version on our Respawn Please podcast page on YouTube. Just type in Respawn Please podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for future videos and future episodes. Make sure to follow the social media pages for the podcast at Respawn Please podcast on Instagram and TikTok. At Respawn_please on Twitter. Also, be sure to check out the latest, the first episode in our new series of Please Review Anime Edition, with Bochi the Rock, which is in our YouTube page.
It's review, please.
Put up, make sure I'll put a link up to it somewhere. You'll see like a little card or something. Also, I forgot else. I lost track, but
we stream every Wednesday. We're going to be streaming gameplay every Wednesday. Sometimes it'll be Overwatch. Sometimes it'll be whatever multiplayer game we want to play. Maybe it'll be a single player game. Maybe Ell will abandon me and I will have to stream solo. He made it. I mean, it's up to Ell. Like if Ell decides that he has to go do something more fun,
Oh my God. Also, that I just remember the audio version of the podcast is available on all streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Make sure to subscribe, share. Really appreciate the help with that. And that's it.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend, y'all. Our week, depending on when you're listening to this. If you're listening to this on Sunday, have a good Sunday. Nice. Go watch Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched Last of Us yet? Yeah, play Dead Space. Have you watched Last of Us yet? We need to talk about Last of Us sometime.
No, not yet. I need to catch up. All
right. All right. Have a good night, y'all, and go watch Last of Us. Go play Dead Space. Go play Hi-Fi Rush if you haven't done it yet. I'm going to go collapse on my bed and pass out for the next couple hours because I am burning up. Goodbye.